Hello and welcome. As you saw from the topic, today I'm going to talk about my current favorite sheer light coverage foundations. During this past year, working mainly from home, my preferences have changed a little bit what comes to foundations. Previously I used to be more like medium coverage girl, and nowadays on daily basis when I have just video meetings with my colleagues, I prefer to have some light coverage. So I've been now digging into light coverage foundations, testing a lot of products, and kind of formed my opinion of them as I didn't have so much experience of them in the first place. One thing is that if you've seen any of my Get Ready With Me's or testing something, you've seen how my skin looks in normal without makeup, and I have a lot of things going on. I have pigmentation all over my forehead, cheeks, corner of my eye, and then I have redness on my nose, on my chin, and then there is pores on my nose and all sort of stuff. So I'm always looking for something that either covers or optically kind of blurs my skin, and especially these products lean onto the sheer coverage but optically correcting my skin. So without further ado, let's go into these foundations and you can hear why I love these ones. The first one I'm going to talk about is a little bit of mystery to me. I got this as a PR some while ago, and because it says in the package that it's strong coverage, I didn't test it because that's not what I'm aiming for nowadays. But then I just tested it. The name is Long Cover Fluid from Paese. I think that's how it's pronounced. I think it's a Polish brand. And it does say a strong coverage and it's for dry normal skin. I was quite surprised when I tested it that it's actually, at least on me, quite sheer. It is beautifully glowy foundation. The applicator I'm not too fan of because it's this spatula kind of thing. But the formula is definitely for dry skin. It is very nourishing and hydrating, and it doesn't settle, so it stays kind of a little bit tacky, which is what I'm looking for when I have very dry skin. But that said, I do have oiliness on my nose, and this lasts still very well, which is surprising. Usually these kind of foundations are not the strongest ones to last full long day, but this does. I have worn it with powder and without powder, and of course powder does make it last longer, but it is beautiful even without powder for full day. I have a shade Alabaster, which is quite close to my match, especially if I add just a little bit of bronzer or something to warm it up a little bit, as this is a bit kind of cool toned. Especially now during winter, this is almost perfect shade still for me. I'm very impressed of this one, so worth a try. The second one is something that on some days I really love it, and sometimes I don't kind of get the hype. This one depends so much of my skincare during that day. If my skin is really dry and my skincare has already absorbed to my skin, this does nothing. But when I have a good skincare, there is moisture on my skin, this is absolutely unbelievably beautiful. And this is the Surrat Dew Drop Foundation. I have a shade 1.5, which again leans to a little bit lighter side, but when I mix it with some bronzer, or for example the Drunk Elephant Deep Bronzy, I can make it a perfect shade for me. As said, when I have a lot of moisture on my skin, maybe from some kind of prepping spray or skincare or something, this glides on beautifully. It looks almost like no makeup at all. It lasts surprisingly long time, especially if I use powder with it. But the price point is really high, and as it doesn't work for me every time, I wouldn't purchase this, but I do understand the hype behind this. I think if you are normal skin, this might be perfect for you. If you have very, very dry skin, you need to kind of make sure you have good skincare. What I'm not fan about is the application. I do love the small applicator, or what's the word? This small this. But to get the product out, you need that there is this kind of soft button in the bottom, and as I have long nails, I cannot press it like this, so I have to kind of put my fingers like this and press. You get a perfect amount of the product you need, but it's really not handy for me. So but the size is great, so but it's heavy, so it's a lot of pots product, but on a good day it is perfect. Then something I have tested last autumn, I think, the Kevyn Aucoin Nude Stripped Skin Tint, Stripped Nude Skin Tint. I have shade Light ST3. The shade is almost perfect, and I really love this product. It has this kind of luminosity. Definitely it corrects optically my skin. Very skin-like finish, very this is kind of foolproof product for me. It does last a long time and lasts beautifully with and without powder. I have nothing but good things actually to say about this. Only thing is that if my skin is really dry, it can look a little bit dry. There is the luminosity, but it can look a little bit dry. So again, I need a very moisturized skin underneath to look great. On my nose, which tends to get oily, this works perfectly. So a dry-ish normal combo skin would really benefit of this. So if you're interested to test this one, I highly recommend. Then from the highest end of this foundation, Tom Ford, this is the Flawless Glow foundation. It has SPF 30 and I have a shade 0.4 Rose. The shade isn't perfect for me. It is a bit too rose, but if I warm it up, I can easily wear it. That's kind of a theme of most of these except the last two. The shades tend to lean on cool side when it gets really fair, and my skin leans to the olive side actually, and it's quite difficult to find light foundations in olive undertone. Funny enough, I warm these rose tones or neutral ones, and then I get to work with. But these products last really well. It is very sheer, and if you have dry patches, it can stick to the dry patches. There is a scent of lavender, so if you don't like it, skip this one. On me, I tend to use this on days when I want a long day with very natural kind of look and kind of healthy glow. There's a little bit less glow than with Kevyn Aucoin, that kind of optical correction kind of glow, but there is a little really beautiful this one is back. There is really beautiful kind of healthy glow in that foundation, which I really love. Are you sure? All right, she's settled below. Is it worth the price? I actually would say yes. I've been really enjoying using it, and because of the lavender, it calms down my skin. It tends to get irritating, and dry and I feel like I need to scratch my skin, and using that foundation I don't have that feeling, so it's a high definite plus for me to feel comfortable in my skin. It's not something I feel every day, so really like that. Then I have two products left. This one I've been using for years. It's from Lumene and it's the Instant Glow Beauty Serum. I have the shade Universal Light. This is one of the most favorite of all of these because there is both this kind of hydrating glowiness, there is good sheer coverage. I don't know how to explain it, but it's beautiful. It corrects a lot of my redness and hyperpigmentation, but it doesn't look like makeup. I prefer this one to the one which is on a pot. That's more dry on my skin. This one doesn't dry my skin. It stays on hydrated and beautiful. And can last also on my nose, not on long days, so this is not something that lasts a full day on me, especially on my nose. But a proper work day, yes, a long day for me is plus 10 hours, so so those tend to happen sometimes. But beautiful if I go and do some errands, if I have some meeting to go for a couple of hours or something, this is very nice. And this is something that I can use just a little bit on my nose, forehead, and it looks really beautiful and natural, so definitely one of my favorites. And the last one, I did a video when I reviewed this and I've been loving it since. This is the Suqqu Nude Wear Liquid X shade 110. It's always amazing. This is very watery, liquidy foundation, but the coverage is unbelievable. And it lasts really long time. If I compare with the Lumene one, this is a slightly more satin finish and lasts a little bit longer. So I've been wearing this a lot during these past months. The shade is really good for me. I have nothing bad to say about this. I love the package, I love the dropper. Why I don't wear this always? Well, I have a lot of foundations to test, and on days when I want this very moist, very wet kind of look, this is not the one. This is more satiny. Otherwise, this is leaning almost to the perfect foundation on me. So definitely recommend if you want effortless, well-lasting sheer coverage foundation. But that's about it. These are my most used current sheer coverage favorite foundations. If you want any more information about any of these, let me know. I tested a couple of these in my video, so I will link those below so you can see my first reaction to these foundations, or some of these foundations. But now I wish you have a great day and see you next time. Bye bye.